Well, hi everyone. So, today I'll be talking about something that is actually the spread of how advanced we were thinking and how it all started. Well, we've been talking about that so far, but this time it's real. So, there are two things that I'm gonna be talking about here. So, there are 2 points that I want to make. So, the first point is it's the moment when time is finally fixed, because back in the day they don't have a clock, or maybe they did, but it's all biased. It's not the same between one places and another places, and also it's going to be different from another country. So they don't have the basic standard, right? And it's kind of difficult if you have that kind of counting and timing. So it's not the right thing to approach it that way. So time is finally fixed, finally determined, and they decide that Greenwich is the place to be the center of that. And the reason behind of that, well, you can assume that maybe because England was the biggest country and the strongest country at the time, but not really. It's actually because there is a royal observatory that is located in Greenwich, England, and that place is the first place that time is finally be measured for the first time. Well, let's be honest, I don't know the detail, but that's royal observatory is a really important place for deciding what time that is at the time. So finally Greenwich became the center of time, and the implication is actually huge, because if you know what time at the time, you can count and predict your position when you are at the sea. So it's actually really good for Marines, because they really want to know their location. So it's a good thing. Right now, everybody has to do math to predict their prediction. And it's actually changing the whole idea of how we were thinking. So one of the reasons is, well, it's because the time finally determined. And it's not just that. It's just the first point. Second point is the resurgence of engineering, I would say. And it's actually, calculus exists, but it's not perfect. And there are always people that will make that thing perfect, right? So it all started with Isaac Newton back in the day, and then we had Euler, and then right at the time they have Joseph Louis Lagrange. I believe that's how you're supposed to pronounce his name. So that guy, well, he extended the work of Euler, and then this guy, he inspired Laplace, and we already heard his name before, and he's actually very fundamental in the growth of math and engineering, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about. It's the engineering. So Laplace work really is creating what we know now as the basic of engineering. Well, if you learn engineering, you know Laplace transform, right? He's the guy who created that. So that guy creates the fundamentals. It's really important. So Laplace is so smart. He's being called French Newton. And then at the same time Laplace is working, there's also another guy named Carl Gauss. Well, I believe he's German. Well, he's German, yes. And they're actually doing the same thing, but they're not really connected with each other, because, well, they don't have internet, they don't have phone, they don't have email. So, or maybe they can mail each other, but somehow they're not connected. But actually they're doing the same thing. which is extending the work of calculus, perfecting them. But there's a huge difference between Laplace and Gauss. So, in terms of character, I mean, so Gauss, he's an introvert, but he's actually really good in explaining things. While at the same time, Laplace, he's an extrovert. Because he's smart, and at the time, Napoleon was already been there. So it's after French Revolution, and a guy like Napoleon, he really admired smart people. So Laplace became close to the people in the government, and he even became the minister of something. I forget about that. So he's actually extrovert. He's really social guy, but his explanation is not that good. It's not as good as Gauss, which is kind of shame, right? Because this is the extrovert guy. This is the people that will approach other people and teach them about something. But at the same time, he's not really good in explaining his ideas. So, yeah, it is what it is. And he is the philosopher. People claim that he extend the calculus so far, it became a philosophy. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that's it. He believed in self-determinism. It's just like the idea that nowadays United States of America is campaigning. Not really campaigning, actually. It's just the whole identity of United States of America and free market is self-determinism, right? So he believed in that. So he's kind of a philosopher in that kind of idea. Yeah, that's it.